TLC. Sarah, can you help me record? Thanks so much. So, I'm your faster for the day. My name is Sumita. You can call me Sumi, and I'm your regional manager for business development from the Asia Pacific Regional Office. And just some quick sharings. I know there are some LCPs in the house, so they might have seen these pictures before, but not everything is gonna be repeated. This is from when I was. The thing is, I was never an LCVP, so I didn't get to experience like an LCVP or LCEB experience. I was a team leader, and then I directly got elected as an LCP back in ISEC in India in 2017. And this picture that you see right here is from my LCP elections day. We were 4 candidates, and the water poured down on me. It was the best experience of my entire life. I'm not even exaggerating. And here you see like my wonderful beautiful LC in Patiala. We were an I would that we do as ISEC, it's about the leaders that we develop. This is also one of the decisions that my wonderful
Sarah, can you pause the recording for a little while?
I am back. Hopefully it wouldn't stop again. But yes, what I was saying is that me and my team, we took this decision that instead of focusing just on numbers, instead of focusing just on finances or revenue, as important as that is also for sustaining an LC, for sustaining ISEC, it is much more important to actually focus on our people, because more than the people that you send on exchanges, more than the external young people that you engage, your direct stakeholders are your members, are your team members. And this is where your culture plays a key role in. Okay, so coming back to the session flow, basically understanding the concept of culture. I know a lot of you have already had the workshop on building a culture that nurtures leadership. So 1 or 2 slides, just 1 or 2 slides, not the entire session is going to be about culture. But just to understand the concept of culture, what it is, what it entails, and in your entity right now. So we're going to have a reflection space. We're going to have a breakout space with all the people that are here in this room right now, and then designing the solutions for how we want our culture to be. So basically just a quick throwback for the people who already attended the previous workshop, or for the people who are new in this workshop. Culture is basically what unites people towards one vision, and it is the shared assumptions that drive how people perceive, think, and feel. And when I say shared assumptions, it can be your behaviors, shared actions, shared thoughts, shared perceptions, or anything that basically unites you, or that basically points to, let's say, when we are talking about ISEC, when we think about ISEC culture, it's like roll calls. It's like maybe even talking about exchanges, maybe what it should be is also like talking about leadership. So all of these things actually form a culture, which is like common to a group of people. So I want to ask, what made you apply to ISEC? When you joined ISEC, what was the thing that made you apply? You can write in the chat, you can unmute yourself. You're a small group of people. You can raise your hands. Anyone? Anyone? I really like ISEC values, and my favorite one is a girl. Oh my God. Please tell us the story, Tisara. Oh my God. A girl made
Yeah, so
Tisara. Okay.
yeah,
Yes, this is gonna be
when I
interesting.
joined ISEC, I didn't really knew much about ISEC. And yeah, so the person who interviewed me was my then LCVP PM, and she was really cute. That's why I basically stayed in ISEC for the first couple of months.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Well, whatever made you stay this long in ISEC, we appreciate that and we accept you here and we love to have you here. Kylie from Japan says amazing vision and the warm atmosphere. Yes, absolutely. I think for me, it was, being honest, it was for me that I would get to go on exchanges or I would get to travel the world, and the whole concept of leadership was not that I was not that much aware of that ISEC stands for leadership and all of that. But then once I got into the organization, I was like, whoa, I had my first national conference and I was like, what? This organization is more than my LC? There are more LCs in my country, not just my country, there are more MCs in the world. And then I was like, okay, this is much bigger than I expected it to be. And that's what made me stay for more than 6 years. Like last month I completed 6 years in ISEC, and I'm proud to be here. My next question is, what is your favorite part of the ISEC culture? You can unmute yourselves or you can write in the chat. The safe space. Yes, oh my god, yes. Yes, and jives. For those of you who are not from ISEC in India, we call roll calls as jives. So basically, Gautam from VIT means roll calls are his best part of ISEC culture. Tisara says the people. Absolutely. For me, it's also, I think, the whole environment of where people can just come together without any judgments or can just talk about anything. It is just beautiful to me. I remember when I joined ISEC in 2015, I had actually come back from my exchange in Russia. And when I was in my, like on my exchange in Russia, I was like surrounded by so many different people, so many people from different countries. It was my first time actually being abroad. And then I was like, okay, like this is really cool that these people are having all kinds of conversations, and this is like, I never expected it to be like that. And I just fell in love with the ISEC culture more and more. And once I joined back ISEC, after coming back, I was recruited into the OGX department. I was doing OGV back then, so let's just call it OGX. And I was like, I became the highest performing member of the whole LC because I was obsessed with the ISEC culture. I was like, guys, you have to experience ISEC. You should go on exchange. Back then, when it was still possible. But and I can you imagine, I sent my half of my class on ISEC exchange that year because I just could not stop talking about how amazing the culture was, how amazing the experience was. So it's all about that. Now my question is, because you all are EBs, and when I say EBs, I also mean LCPs. I want to know what made you apply to EB. You can be as honest as possible. You can also be like, my LC was doing really bad and I was so frustrated with my leaders. I really wanted to make a difference, and that's why I joined. It can also be a reason, and it can also be a reason that my leaders really, really inspired me and I wanted to make a change. Or you can also be like, I wanted to apply for a CV. So I want to know what made you apply to the EB. I'm waiting in the chat. Anyone? You all are EBs, right? Yes, the kind of bond people had with, wow, beautiful, beautiful, nice. I used to be really jealous of when I was back. I was at TL and I used to look at EB. I used to be so jealous. I was like, oh my God, they look like superheroes in local meetings and local conferences, and I want to be like them. I remember when I got recruited and we had this induction seminar, and the LCP was standing on the stage and talking to us, and I was like, I want to be like him. And again, like once you take up the opportunities and once you engage with the organization, you get to have all of these opportunities. Tisara says, I wanted to not regret not applying later when I'm old. Yes, oh my god, so honest. Yes, yes, yes. This is something amazing, very relatable. Kylie says, I wanted to change the LC so we can grow and fulfill the last potential or else is a potential. I wanted to go more closer to the core of ISAC. Yes. Oh my God. I will save this chat. I love it. Yes. Oh my God. So many beautiful reasons. Just to kind of like now that you're in that mode where, okay, like you are thinking about what made you apply to EB and ISAC culture and everything. I want to go back to why we are here today, which is to design the kind of culture we want to build as EBs, which is like, and before that, we need to understand like what are the culture blockers perhaps in your LCs right now. When I say culture blockers, it can be external factors, it can be internal factors, it can be anything, it can be maybe some incidents that happened in the past. And what are the things that are blocking us to actually create a culture that we want? Probable blockers, I was thinking about it. So these are some of the things that came to my mind. Number one, there are much cooler places to be than ISEC. ISEC is not the coolest organization, according to some people. According to me, it is. For some people, it could also be, it is too much work. It is too much work, and I don't get paid. I mean, I do get paid. Personally, I do get paid right now as my full-time role. But when I'm in the university, I don't get paid. Why do I put so much work into something and then is it worth it? Then it's results over experience. Maybe your experience has been that we have been so much number driven and we ignore the experience of the members. We ignore our experience and we are just like, okay, exchanges, revenue, BD, partnerships, all of that. And then we're not enjoying the essence of ISEC. And then there is also team experience. Team experience is not that good. You're not getting that much out of the team experience. Number five, too much drama. There is too much drama. I cannot handle it. There's so many things going on. There's so much God knows what. And I just can't. It's I'm so over it. So I want to know what else comes to your mind when it comes to probable blockers. Maybe you can share what is happening in your LCs right now. What are you experiencing? I will
Okay,
assume
can I speak?
yes.
With,
Yes.
writing on the chat is hectic for me. So,
Thank you.
so I'll just say one, one thing I've noticed is that because there's nothing physical happening, it's very hard for people to connect to the organized. Because if there was physical, be conferences, everywhere will be networking stuff like that. So that is something I feel as a blocker.
Thank you so much, Gautam, for that. I think, again, we are living in a very different context as we were a year ago. So these are kind of things that we should keep in mind and be aware of. And this is something that we can work on in this session and maybe after this session as well. So what we're gonna do, guys, I'm so excited for this. I am so excited. You have no idea how excited I am because the people who are missing this workshop are missing a really cool design thinking space. I will take you through. Let me write before you go to this link. What we're gonna do is I will take you through the tool. So we're gonna be working on a design thinking tool. I think all of you must be able to access this. I will post the link in the chat. So what we're gonna be having is we're gonna take first 2 minutes to think about the culture aspects that are going well in your LC right now. And how you use this tool is you just double tap, it creates a sticky note and you just type, okay, and you can zoom in and stuff. So it's really cool. And then 2 minutes you take about that. Then you take 2 minutes about what are the culture aspects that are not that well in your LC right now. And then you double tap, sticky note, and then you write again. Then you have 10 minutes to form how might we statements. What are the how might we statements? Basically, you're going to be dreaming about the ideal state, not ideal, but like the desired state of your LC culture and the culture that you want to build in ISEC. So for example, how might we make the members more engaged in virtual settings? How might we increase the time that members stay in ISEC? How might we increase the number of people applying for team leader positions? So things like this, you will be writing them here. I've already put the notes. So we have how many people in the room? Wait, we have like, okay, we're gonna be splitting you into 4 breakouts. So every breakout has one. So if you are breakout one, you take the yellow part, you take 2 takes the blue part, 3 takes the pink part, 4 takes the green part. And then you will have 10 minutes. You don't have to fill all of these sticky notes. You can fill however, like how many you want. And after the 10 minutes, we come back and we vote. So it's gonna be exciting. And we also have like the follow-up part of the activity. So I will just break you out in the rooms right now. So Tisara, can you help me about it?
Yeah, so we have 6 participants without you, me, and Fatih.
Okay, we can split them into 3 breakouts then.
Okay, okay.
And I will write the link in the chat.
For how long do you want the record room for?
We can make it for 15 minutes.
Okay, go.
Yes, this is the link, guys, and you can join it as a guest.
Okay, creating breakout rooms now. There you go.
Tisara, can you also stop the recording?
Yeah, yeah.
Pause the recording. Yeah. So what we're gonna have is how can we create a culture where people are passionate about ISEC, and we're gonna choose 3 top 3 out of these. So we can have people passionate about ISEC. How can we create a culture where there is a safe space for people and people taking up opportunities? Okay. And I will mention it here. People passionate about ISEC. People taking up opportunities. Safe spaces for people. Okay, we have 3 not problem statements, but 3 goals that we want to create. The next step is very exciting. What we're gonna do is we're gonna storyboard, as we are gonna create like a solution. So as you can see here, we have yellow, green, and purple. So every breakout room can have, like, if you choose yellow one, then you go to the yellow one. What you have to do is you have to create a solution space. And how we're gonna do it is create like a catchy title for your solution. It can be like, how can we create safe places for ISECers? It can be like safe spaces of humans or whatever you want. It can even be like ISECer circus. I don't know, whatever you want. Okay. And then here can be anything. You want to draw something, you want to put a picture, you can do anything. And here it goes the description of your first step, second step, and third step, how you can make that happen. Is that clear? Okay. So yeah. So I'm gonna give you 10 minutes. Yes, I'm gonna give you 10 minutes. Not 10 minutes, actually. I will give you 7 minutes. And Tisara, if you can send them to the breakouts again.
Yep, on it. 1 minute breakout room starting now. You guys can go ahead and join the rooms.
Hello, welcome back, people. I hope it was fun. I know the time is not that much. We only have 1 hour of the workshop, but I still think you had some good conversations. So what we're going to do right now is, I'm sorry for invading your spaces. I was giving you hearts and light bulbs and whatnot. So we can have like 1 minute per room. So yeah, room number 1, and I will zoom into what you wrote. So who was here?
I'm here and Ren is
Mhm.
here.
Yeah, you can go.
So you want us to
1 minute.
explain what we've written?
Yeah, one
Okay.
minute to explain. Yeah.
Okay. So first one is to create create passion in the people. We need to understand what people need, and we understand that through having one-to-one sessions with the people, and so that we can give them relevant work that they are interested in. Then giving people the fresh people who've come into ISEC, helping them out so that we give them a better experience of how and create cultivating that sense of help in the people, and giving people their selfish reasons to work for ISEC, because uh, people might work for ISEC, but then when they have that passion only when they know that they have a selfish reason to work for that. So that is what we've written over here.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I think giving people selfish reason to work for ISEC, it's not something that we normally talk about. And I think it's very important as well because, again, as impactful as this organization can be, in the end, we want people to actually belong to the organization as well. And the reason for belonging can be like a selfish one, like I want to build my skills, I want to get a job with Mind Valley, maybe. So it's things like this that like whatever good thing makes them stay and belong to the organization, it's good. Okay, next up, second second room, people taking up opportunities. Anyone? Okay, I will just read it then. Basically making people join. If they if they join, they can take up a practical skill. Okay, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. But we also have this one here. Okay, I will call for this person. Whoever did this, can you please speak up? Visiting B. Hide.
Oh, sorry. Uh, so like we basically talked about like how to make members to have a passion for ISEC. So I think so we concluded that like the all the everything kind of starts from our EBs and like our attitudes toward like ISEC. So like first we thought that by having EBs to activate the six values can kind of like motivate members and like so yeah so first you start we concluded that everything starts from EBs. And then secondly I think like to like kind of like start to engage members to kind of activate six values through communication. So telling them to kind of how important to like have passion for ISEC and how we should like have an enthusiastic attitude toward ISEC. So then the final step we believe that like rewarding and like praising members to like show the appreciation that like what they're doing is right and like what they're like what they're I mean they're to like kind of like make them realize that like what they're doing is right and like their attitude is kind of fantastic. So like rewarding and like praising members would be like the final step to kind of make them have passion for ISEC.
Thank you
So
so much for that wonderful sharing. I think connecting back to the ISEC values is very important as well, especially when you're the EBs. It's okay if you don't know the six ISEC values right now, but it's also important that you learn about them. Maybe during this conference, or maybe like after you go back from the conference, because you as the EBs, even though you do not form your whole LC, I as an LCP do not form my whole LC. My members, my LC forms the whole LC. But the thing is, you are the leaders of your LC, and the kind of role models that you are, the kind of values that you portray, the kind of behaviors that you portray through your actions, um, are eventually gonna be creating that culture. And when we talk about the culture, it's not just about your term. It's not about 2021. It's gonna be actually there for many, many years to come. And this is an impact that you're gonna see perhaps, or that you're probably seeing right now from the previous years. So yes, that's how important your role is. What I'm gonna do is like in the output of this space, I'm gonna create an empty sheet for you guys, and you can work on this however you want with your LCEPs. Okay, so we are very short on time. I will quickly share with you a small story. You already had the sharing space. So this is back when I was an LCP. Some of the LCPs might have seen this picture. This is from my last local conference that was there back in ISEC in India, ISEC in Patiala. And we were a very small LC, and like I love these people so much. We had a wonderful, wonderful local conference, and you can see like all of these people. Either they were there for like 1 or 2 years, or they recently joined. But the thing is, one of the focuses that my wonderful team made was that we wanna focus the most on the experience of the people. We promised our LC that we're gonna give each and every single one of you a reason to stay in the organization. Like Gautam also mentioned, like give them a selfish reason to stay. So like we wanted everybody to have a reason to stay and belong to the organization. And before my year, I mean, even though we were like 4 applicants when I stood up for LCP, before my year, every single year, we used to have just one LCP applicant, just one. So whoever applied got elected, even though they were all wonderful leaders, but it was more like people did not want to stand up for those opportunities. And once we focused on members' experiences, people belonging to the organization, what happened was like these people that you see, these 8 people, by the end of my term, these were the people who applied for LCP. And these were the people who, of course, like it was gonna be a huge election day. If I chose to go ahead with like all 8 of them in the final process, we had to filter out. So we had 4 final applicants who went on to the elections day. And this was my wonderful, amazing successor, and who went on to actually becoming like the MC of ISEC in India the year after. I really, really love this picture. I've told it to the LCPs. Maybe some of you were there in my previous session. I really love this picture so much. This is my favorite picture ever that has been taken. It's blurry, but I love it because it shows how important culture is to actually sustain an organization. Because as you can see, this is me. Might not be able to recognize me, but this is me. This is my successor who got elected like at the end of my year. This is his successor, and this is his successor. So you see like 4 generations of LCPs. I'm not just talking about LCPs here again, like LCVPs as well, but like I'm saying how you focus on the culture is eventually gonna make people stay in the organization. So you see like 4 generations, like 4 years of the leaders of your LC staying in the organization for this long. So like this has been one of my key take backs from ISEC, like from 6 years of ISEC, is like if you focus just on your people, if you thrive on making them belong, if you thrive on building their capacity, building their skills, there is no reason that you're not gonna grow as an organization. And even though like back then we were a small LC, we were not in a good financial state and everything, today I see my LC as like really thriving, really doing well back in ISEC in India. So yes, somebody wrote something in the chat. Yes, thank you so much. Again, in the end, it's about whether your culture makes your LC experience ISEC. And ISEC is not just exchanges, and even like in current times, it's even more relevant that it's not just about exchanges. In the end, it's about ISEC values. In the end, it's about team experience. In the end, it's about leadership. If you're able to build leadership, if you're able to showcase the ISEC values and create an environment where people are able to be accepted, where people are able to speak up to actually create an impact, your gold, your LC is set for life. Your LC culture, your LC membership, your LC leadership is set for the many, many years to come in the future. So yes, this is my closing. And if you want to stay in touch, I would love to stay in touch with you. This is my Instagram. We can connect on LinkedIn. And yes, thank you so much for joining this space. You can move on to the next session. We are 2 minutes over, but I really hope you had some key takebacks. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sumedha.
Tisara, we can stop the recording.